I am so thrilled to share with you a little bit about my Microloc journey. It has been such a joy to be able to have my hair evolve, grow, and to really just experience joy of having my hair in the most natural form. My locks started to fall, I guess, or drop. I think the terminology is drop. My locks have started to drop and I'm at about 20 months right now. It's the bottom of my neck. Cute little bob. I haven't cut my locks since having them installed in March of 2023, and we are now in the fall of 2024, and I'm just so happy to continue to share progress on how my locks are growing and how it's going. So thank you for watching, thank you for joining, thank you for being here. Now I want to just start out with my why. Why did I get locks? I had researched locks for a long time before I went ahead and made the decision. I looked up Locticians. I will link below the list of national Locticians so that you can find Locticians that are close to you. And I was lucky enough to find a Loctician who I went to high school with. Courtney, how you doing? Thank you for being a great Loctician. I appreciate you. I love my natural hair. I'm feeling real good today. Just got my hair retwisted. Yes, 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 my girl love. And she already was a friend and has become more of a dear friend in the midst of this journey. I do want to say that Microlocs are a journey. You might be doing research and looking up photos and inquiring about other people who have locks, and each individual person's lock journey is unique to them. My hair in particular is very tightly coiled, so my lock journey looks a certain way, whereas someone who might have wider coils, their Microloc journey might look a little bit differently. All right, here we go. We are in the chair, getting ready to get retwisted. So much new growth. I love my hair. It's growing. Yay. I'm halfway there. Here we go. Interlocking, right? Interlocking my locks. Interlocking my locks. Yay. My hair actually kind of dropped recently, as my loctician was saying. My locks have formed and have become the way they are going to look for the time that I have them. They're just going to get a little bit longer. So I'm really excited about that because it's been great to watch this process happen. And for me, as someone who is very much an Aries, who has very little patience with whatever it is that's happening in my corner if I can't see immediate results, I think Microlocs have been such a good journey and a great means of me training myself to be patient. And it's something that we can probably all use a little more of. I'm really great at being patient with other people, great at being patient with my students, great at being patient with my family. But when it comes to me, I could use a little more patience. So Microlocs has really helped me with my patience journey. And that's one of the reasons why I love having them. I will say that care is essential to making sure that your locks don't break, don't slip, don't split at the ends. It's really key to make sure that certain items are available to you so that once your locks begin to grow, you are able to keep them up in a way that they will be healthy for long term. What I often like to use for sleeping is either a satin pillowcase or a satin bonnet. I find that both of them help to ensure that my hair does not break or tug or pull against other fabrics like cottons or polyester or what have you, different fabrics that can be used for pillowcases. So I definitely say investing in a satin bonnet or 2 or 3 or 4 might be to your interest. I think the most chic bonnet that I have that I love the most has Ankara on the outside and satin on the inside, and it ties up really nicely in the front so that I can kind of lay my edges when I choose to. And I definitely think that being able to wake up, untie your bonnet, or make sure that you rest on a satin pillowcase without breaking your hair is one of the key components to ensuring that your locks stay healthy long term. Products that I use in my hair include shampoos that do not cause for any buildup to happen at the scalp. I often like to use shampoos with castor oil. Some of the brands I use I will list below, and anything that has peppermint in it. I love lavender. Being able to use different types of products that aren't too soapy, anything with tea tree oil in it, I think usually works quite well for my hair, but everyone's scalp and everyone's hair is different. I know that my scalp needs a lot of moisture, and for the first whole entire year, I did not use any conditioners in my hair. I actually still don't use conditioners now. So the lock tightening schedule is one of the key components of making sure that your hair forms the way it is supposed to. I was originally on a 4 to 6 week tightening schedule. In the past 4 months or so, I've switched over to a 6 to 8 week tightening schedule. And what that does is just allows for my new growth to come in naturally, nicely. And then I go to my Loctician and she helps me kind of re-twist, recoil my hair using a crochet tool that allows for my hair to be locked into itself. So the 4 to 6 week cycle was where I originally started, then I moved to a 6 to 8 week cycle. And honestly, it's allowed for me to fall in love with my hair even more. I've tried my hand at doing the retightenings myself because for many years I did my hair on my own. I have braided my own hair, crocheted my own hair, done everything from individuals to micros since I was probably in middle school. So I have a very long history of doing my own hair, it not turning out the way I want it to, it turning out perfectly the way I desire. And you know, after many, many years of doing my hair myself, it's actually quite refreshing to be able to ask someone else to do it from time to time. Porosity is something that I had very little information about prior to getting into the world of being a Microloc girly. I find that my hair does really well with just simple amounts of water sprayed every morning and oftentimes in the afternoon. I might add a little bit of essential oil like pure lavender oil, 100% pure essential oil, nothing that has additional additives to it. In my case, I saved up for my Microlocs for 6 months before getting them. I was on a modest teacher salary, so I was able to make it happen. I spread out the payments over 3 different installments. So my entire installation started at $1,000. That's where my Loctician started her pricing. And then she added additional for the length of hair afterwards. So if your hair is about the length of mine, which came to the bottom of my neck, shrinkage is real. But when I got my locks, my hair actually came down to here when I pressed or straightened it out. So with hair this length, you are looking at somewhere around $1,300 to start your locks off. If your hair is longer, of course, you're going to start at a higher rate. Pricing can vary from city to city. In my particular case, you're looking at price ranges that you might find between New York, Philly, and DC, the DC metropolitan area. And so about $1,000 is where Microlocs start. And from there you can go up. I've seen prices that are as high as $2,000 to start them if you're looking at places like Los Angeles, Atlanta. Different cities have different prices. What also is important is knowing the diameter of the lock. So there's a lock tool that my Loctician used to help me with deciding upon the size of my Microlocs. My locks are medium sized, and for those who are choosing to have Microlocs and not sister locks because they are different, the difference between Microlocs and sister locks. Microlocs have a little more flexibility in regard to sizing and in regard to tightening schedule. If you miss maybe 2 weeks on your retightening schedule for Microlocs, it's not the end of the world. Locks are a long-term investment. I just want to say that. They look great. If a person wants to get lock extensions, sure, why not? Temporarily test them out, see how it fits. But I will say that what is great about Microlocs is that if I want to braid my locks down and put crochet braids on top, I can still do that. If I want to get boho braids or something like that, if I want to do individuals of any sort, maybe not knotless. Knotless might be a little bit challenging, but traditional individual braids, I can still do that. And I would say that any other style outside of that might be a bit of a challenge, but if I want to like slick it down, wig it, keep it pushing, you know what I mean? I can do that too. The best part about having Microlocs is meeting other people with locks and us just talking about our lock journey and hyping each other up and giving each other all of the just the love and the good vibes that come along with embracing your hair for the way it grows out of your scalp naturally. I can't tell you about how many awesome conversations I've had with different women and different men too, because there are some men who have what I guess we would call Microlocs or brother locks, just palm rolled simple locks. It's always a conversation about when you started them, how long you've had them, where'd you get them installed. And it really is a culture and a way of life, particularly in Philly. There's a lot of people who have locks here in Philly, different styles, different lengths, different colors. I have yet to color my locks, but eventually I probably will. Maybe I'll go with like a nice deep chestnut or something like that. We'll see. I usually like to kind of go with like a mulberry, not necessarily a burgundy, but something that feels rich and with a hint of red. But what I will say is that it's just been amazing watching the lock community open up to me. So I want to talk a little bit about breakage. I find that for me at least, being really careful about my edges, being really careful about when I tie down my satin bonnet at night, not to tie it too tightly. There has been a little bit of breakage around the edges, but what I usually do is I'll use biotin, or I'll use castor oil, or anything that I think might nourish my hair, but not in excessive amounts. Ultimately, the goal is to keep the hair moisturized, keep it healthy. Another thing to be conscious of, which my loctician actually put me on to, is making sure that just regular vitamins in my diet stay consistent. You know, I have to make sure I take a lot of vitamin D, B12, magnesium, iron, zinc, and all of those vitamins are key to ensuring that the hair stays healthy, roots to tip stay healthy as well. And so I have found that making sure I maintain a balanced diet is a big part of making sure that my hair stays healthy, because hair health is indicative of health overall. Getting microlocks has been so great for my self-care, self-love, freedom journey. I don't have to worry about a lot of different components that I used to worry about when I had extensions. And honestly, just knowing that my hair is on a trajectory to become long, luscious, and beautiful really does kind of make me feel excited for the growth that will happen. And not to get too meta about it all, but I just feel like it's a little bit of a metaphor for life. We are constantly on a growth journey. We are constantly evolving and changing, and parts of us from the past are coming with us, but growing and molding into new forms of the self. So the reason why I love locks, particularly my microlocks, is because it's a representation of the journey that I've been on, and it gives me a lot of hope for what possibilities there are for the future. So any questions you have about locks, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I am happy to answer. Let's get a conversation going. Maybe you have locks. How do your locks look? How long have you had them? Maybe you used to have locks. Why did you cut them? And what do you do if you find that certain parts of your locks need a little bit of extra help, a little bit of extra loving? What happens if a lock decides it wants to fall out? Oh no, heaven forbid. Those are all things I think are really important to discuss as the journey continues. And as my hair continues to grow, I will continue to share updates here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Tinuke. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and I'm so happy that you're here today. See you soon. All right, are you focused on me or are you focused on the words behind me? Please focus on me. Sheesh. 20 months is true. All right, a little bit about my micro journey or my micro lock journey.